And we are rolling here at UCLA on March 15th.
Woo!
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Professor. Happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much. That was very sweet of all of you. Thank you, yes. I guess with Facebook, there's no more secrets.
Well, yeah, I know, because the plane tickets.
Oh, the plane tickets, yeah, you said the plane tickets, yes. The plane tickets, yes. Yeah, with Homeland Security, there's no more secrets. Okay, yeah. All right, and so, Mohammed is going to speak to us give us an impromptu speech lasting 7 minutes. He's going to address the following quote by Immanuel Kant. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life.
Hello, my name is Mohammed.
Hi, Mohammed.
So, just wanted to start off with a question. Or a comment. I bet we all know someone who in our life doesn't really have an educational background, but is very smart and intellectual and always makes the right decision. That person has wisdom. While all of us are attending UCLA, we all have knowledge and we try to attain wisdom. This person in my life is my father. He didn't have an educational background, he didn't have a great one. However, he went to the army at such a young age. He had 8 siblings, his father wasn't around, and he had to help his family out. And the one way he could do it was join the army. And although he didn't have really an education, through his experiences, I realize every time he tells me something is from the stuff that he learned through his experiences in the army. And sometimes it just might be, hey, you can't go out this night, while I was younger. And I wouldn't really understand it until I got older and I realized every decision he made was a wise decision. And it was never out of, hey, I just don't want you to do this. He had a reason for it. And today I want to talk about science is organized knowledge and wisdom is organized life by Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant, he was a philosopher. He was a central philosopher figure in modern philosophy. He had many other quotes, beautiful quotes, but this one was one of them that actually stood out. So today I want to talk about 3 things about knowledge and wisdom. Why people with knowledge know day-to-day basics, and people of wisdom they have attained a certain level of knowledge, and they could apply that knowledge into everyday circumstances. The 3 things that a person with wisdom has is gratitude, he has belief, and he has patience. So now, with gratitude, the person with knowledge knows that whatever area he's trying to get, there's going to be a tough road ahead of him. He's going to have to be patient. He knows the road is not tough. However, he knows the road is tough, but however, he knows that if he's patient, he'll get to that level. And if he doesn't, he will be content with it because he knows the circumstances that come with it. He has attained that knowledge where he can apply it to everyday life and understand whatever trial happens, he'll be able to fulfill it. Now, the second reason is patience. A person with wisdom, he's patient and he perseveres. With whatever trial he faces, he knows that you can pray for it, but you really won't get it until you use your legs. And that was the second quote that I was supposed to prepare. However, they both relate to each other because people with wisdom understand that you can pray to your Lord, but the only way you'll receive that answer is if you pray and you put the work into it. And sometimes you'll really put into that work, and for whatever reasons, you might not attain that level that you tried and worked hard for, but you understand there's a reason to it. And looking back at it like a couple years later or a couple months later, you see that the decision that you wanted wasn't good for you. And that was for me. I really wanted to go into sports. Like I told you guys in my first speech, I was really trying to be a soccer player. And I blew out my knee, and at the end of the day, right now, after a couple more years, I realized it was the best option to me. Best option for me for several reasons, several personal reasons. And now the third reason, thing that people with wisdom have is they apply this to everyday circumstances. They go out through their day making the right decisions. Sometimes it might be wrong, but they learn it through their experiences. They try to accomplish whatever's in their way, and they don't hold back. They don't have fear, because fear is false appearing as if it's real. But mostly, all you have to do is face this fear and accomplish it. And people with wisdom have this. They know that sometimes it might not go your way. However, you just have to try harder. And lastly, just wanted to conclude saying, people with knowledge are great people. You should approach them, understand how they think. However, people with wisdom is who you should surround yourself with. Understand why they make these decisions, and understand for what reason they make these decisions. Because not everyone can have wisdom, but everyone can attain knowledge. And when you are with these people who have wisdom, make sure you ingrain yourself around them, steal the way they think, and just be on the same level as them and try to attain what they have. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought the first time you put 1 minute up. So.
It's not wrong. 5:58. Okay, let's go here.
Hi everyone, my name is Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
I think that your speech had a lot of improvement from your first speech. Your delivery was a lot better. It was easier to understand what you were saying, and I think you had some sort of confidence in there, using an analogy for your father serving the military and using his experiences of not having education, but through the military gaining some sort of education, and as far as wisdom goes, using the knowledge that he gained through the military and applying it in real life situations.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes, please.
My name is Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
I liked your speech very much, Norman. Good job.
Thank you.
Two minor things. I caught myself there. I said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll work on that. And then another thing was just work on a little bit of tone ring, maybe emphasize some words and stuff like that. Try some more depth.
Make it more interesting to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Well, guys, thank you for your attempt to answer this quote. This was two-part quote. Span the power spans. One, it talks about science as being organized knowledge, and so on one hand, one may have expectations that one talks about science and the nature of how science accumulates and organizes knowledge. But that doesn't get you to go. Cosmic lingo won't get you to bingo, right?
Yes.
And wisdom is a whole other ball of wax. And so you chose to speak about the wisdom part of it for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's look and see. And you told us that wisdom had three components to it, right? So I liked your intro. It was engaging about your father. It was interesting. And I would have liked to have just a little bit more vivid tie back to your father and to so joining the military. You don't have to be a PhD to be wise. Some of the biggest dunces I've known have been, learned people, and something like that. Thesis preview. It was a little bit awkward about what you were going to tell us you were going to do. I didn't get a SIG statement why this was important to the audience. And I think this is a really important quote because for this reason. UCLA, sadly enough, has opted for knowledge and not wisdom for the most part. They've opted to try to cram as much information into students' head and ask them to regurgitate it and call it an education, right?
Yes.
And, there's some value to that, of course, but it doesn't make you wise. And you tried to give us some other qualities that would make us wise. And it goes back a little bit to that video I showed you after Steve Jobs about working on your, not just for your resume, but for your eulogy, too. So you talked about gratitude, patience, and so forth for the three qualities. And I would have liked you to have somehow introduced that back to your theme or to your thesis of what you're trying to communicate. Okay? Your summary was fine. Your conclusion was fine. I'm sorry if I screwed you up on the time signals. You could have used it a little bit longer. Overall, what I think you did was I think you were in the ballpark for answering this quote, and I think I just would have liked you to have had a stronger position for, well, the other thing that I was looking at in this quote was the implication that Kant said had to do with organization, an organized life. And I know it was a clever play on words, but he was also saying there's something about organization that equals wisdom. And I didn't get much analysis on the organized part of the quote. I wish you would have teased that out a little bit more. But overall, Muhammad, you improved a great deal. You have much more confidence standing up there, and you did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, do we have a present? Okay, great. Okay, any more left? Is that everyone? We have one left. Jeez. Anybody want to do their step threes?
I do.
Okay, well.
Oh,
wait, I got step two. Yeah, sorry. I'm afraid to ask, how many extemp twos are left? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
What's the reason?
She's got her length with her. Red bone chip.
Yep.
What would Mr. Tesla? What would Mr. Tesla say? What's he like, by the way?
I don't know.
Never met him?
No, he
runs in different circles.
he's in Santa Monica. I know that.
Is he? Oh, he is? Oh. Well, somewhere I had this idea he was in Northern California.
Wow.
Where's the whole class? The class.
They dropped.
They dropped?
I don't know.
Wow. Can't handle it. Yeah,
The big F. Okay, stamp one to be put away. All right. Yeah. And we are now shifting gears slightly in this impromptu final day on the Ides of March. Beware of the Ides of March, you'll recall, for the literate among us. And we're about to hear step number 2 from Greg, who's going to address the question, should we get rid of the penny?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Greg.
Hi, Greg.
The question at hand is, should we get rid of the penny? And today I'm going to answer that question. Before I do, I want you guys all to take a trip down memory lane with me. Who here in their childhood has ever tossed a penny into a fountain? Okay, well, we all have. Well, I know I have as well. And before, as a child, I was told that making a wish before tossing a penny into a fountain would make your wish ultimately come true. Well, let me tell you this, it's been more than a decade, and my wish of landing on the moon still hasn't come true. So, now I wonder why we heedlessly throw pennies into fountains. Do we not care about the penny? Has it no social value? Has it no moral value? Has it no value for our economy? Or has the cost of life increased so much that a mere penny no longer serves its purpose? Well, before I move on, I want to explain to you guys the significance of this question. As a forthcoming generation, we're all part of the economy that makes up this great nation. And any change in a monetary denomination system is going to affect our lives and how we dictate our finances. So I think it's very important. I think the question I had is very important to all of us. And today I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why we should get rid of the penny. The first reason is because it wastes money. The second reason is because it hurts our national economy. And the third reason is because by getting rid of the penny, we will stop multi-billion-dollar corporations from using taxpayers' money and government money and producing pennies that no longer serves a purpose for our economy. Now, the first reason that we should get rid of the penny is because it wastes money. According to MIT's Jeff Gore, an individual that started an organization called RetireThePenny.org, which educates the public about the benefits of retiring the penny wastes a lot of money. In 2011 alone, the US Mint produced 5 billion pennies, which made up 60% of the annual currency in circulation, at a cost more than it's worth. It takes roughly 1.7 cents to make one coin. Now, almost all economists will agree with Mr. Jeff Gore that the penny does waste money. And as a nation, we wonder why we keep the penny. Well, it may be because we're emotionally attached to the penny. We can all remember a time where we saved up enough pennies to buy a snack or a drink or even a bag of chips for a younger brother or younger child. Well, with the rise of inflation and the increasing cost of life, the penny no longer has the purchasing power that it used to have. So we should get rid of the penny. Now, also, according to United States Mint, in 2014, United States produced 8 billion pennies at a cost of $132 million, and that resulted in $52 million of currency. They spent $132 million to produce $50 million of currency. And we see that the production cost and opportunity cost doesn't add up. And economists will tell you, MIT's economists will tell you that adding the production cost and the opportunity cost of producing the penny drains almost $900 million, that's 100 million shy away from $1 billion from our national economy. Moreover, Every year, we taxpayers spend $70 million on producing the penny. Can we all think of better reasons that the money can be better spent? For example, education, child welfare, or social issues? Well, moving on to my second point about the penny also hurts our national economy. According to a Federal Reserve study conducted in 2012, Walgreens and the National Stores Association, the National Convenience Stores an association, estimated that the penny adds up to 2 seconds per transaction. Now, 2 seconds may not seem such a long time, but when you take in the fact, also provided by the Federal Reserve study, that each year we have 107 billion cash transactions, that all adds up to almost 120 million hours of time spent by the store employee and the consumer handling the penny. Now, also, according to an article posted on the Huffington Post by Nick Wang, titled, "Can we all just agree that the penny is stupid and it needs to be retired?" The average median income household is $22 an hour. Now, it is estimated that in the time that I reach down and pick up this penny and put it in my pocket, I would make more than 1 cent. Now, we're all familiar with the anecdote about Bill Gates, how he would make more than $100 in the time that he would reach down and pick up a $100 bill and put it in his pocket. Well, the same joke applies to us, except for a smaller value, of course. And the third reason why we should get rid of the penny is because by getting rid of the penny, we will stop multi-billion-dollar organizations, for example, Jardine Zinc Incorporation, a consumer products company that is the sole exclusive supplier of penny blanks. And these penny blanks are the unprinted discs that are made up of 97.5% copper and 2.5% zinc that is used to make these pennies. Now, Jardine Zinc Corporation signed a contract in the year 2000 for $800 million. Since then, they've produced 92 million pennies for the 100 billion that they signed up for. And one of the proponents of the penny, called American for Common Sense, get it? A lobbying group that also ironically represents Jardine Incorporation, gets paid 6 figures annually per employee to keep the penny in circulation. Now, one of their main arguments is that in a post-penny world, or in a post-penny era, where the pennies no longer exist, the retailers will pass on the cost of rounding up to the nearest nickel onto the consumer. However, this is not true. According to a study done by economist Robert Waples in 2006, he concluded that after going through hundreds and thousands of transactions, he concluded that by adding the fees and the taxes, it actually leads to a customer net gain. With that said, I have provided you with 3 reasons that we should all get rid of the penny. And there should be no doubt in this room that we should get rid of the penny. And please, don't let my speech deter you from not using the penny. I mean, after all, we wouldn't want to rob the penny from its last and only purpose, to be in the fountains. Thank you.
Thank you. 712. Thank you for respectfully waiting at the door.
Hi guys, my name is Vahak.
Hi, Dog.
I really liked your speech.
Lunch.
I think your introduction was very well organized. Your 3 points are very simple. I like how when you were giving out big numbers, you were like emphasizing like 900 million, 100 million less than a billion. And I also like your tie back, and just when you like dropped the penny and picked it up, that example was good because like it just catches the attention. And very well, very good speech.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Improvement.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Like Farhag, I liked your speech, especially the penny drop. The one improvement I would make would be, I felt, at least in the beginning, the structure. So your second point was...
It hurts the national economy.
Yeah, it hurts the national economy. I felt like you were discussing that in your first point, and then you kind of said, oh, well, this is my second point. So the lines were kind of blurred. But besides that, I think with the third point, you already cleared that up, and we knew, okay, this is your third point, you're going to talk about that. But for the first 2 points, I felt like, I don't know where the boundary was between finishing this one and starting that one.
Okay.
Okay, those are fair comments. Any other comments? Before we give some structured feedback to Greg. Greg, well, this was your best speech, I thought. Very well researched, very well presented. Who would have thunk that you could have held the interest of an audience for 7 minutes with a penny? And you did. And that was marvelous. I like the allusion that you used, of the common experience that everyone had of, throwing pennies into a fountain and that sort of thing. And I guess they'll just throw nickels or dimes or something. I don't know. if there's going to be inflation and penny throwing or something. This zinc company must be very well lobbied to keep their contract going,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah.
American for Common Sense is their lobbying group.
Yeah.
They represent Jordan Zinc.
Yeah. I'm losing you. Just take a half step backward. Take a half step back there. There you go. Yeah. Okay. On your thesis, you said it wastes money, hurts our national economy, and it stops multi-million-dollar corporations from taking advantage of useless production of pennies. I agree. There was a little overlap there, but still, it was pretty good, and you sourced it from different sources, so you made it work. Your SIG statement was excellent. Any changes are going to affect everybody, and this was good. You quoted MIT Professor Jeff Gore, forgot to mention the year, 2011. That's good. I think too. There's an emotional attitude about the penny. There's a penny for your thoughts and penny banks and
I figured I would go over, but also there was another portion that I wanted to talk about. Was how most people don't want to give her the penny because of I believe it's Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe. That's on the penny. And the argument is that we still have him on the $5 bill. There is no reason to go into a panic or a frenzy.
Panic or frenzy over losing the Honest Abe. Okay, that's interesting. The second thing is on each of your points, if you could have. So that's the first reason we should lose the penny. Okay. But the second reason we should lose the penny is, and the Walgreens study was good. The Huffington Post article you forgot to mention, it was in 2014. Very recent stuff. Build your credibility of your sources by pointing them out. And then I think your best argument you saved for last for the group, the Jardine Zinc Company that makes these suckers and has a big contract and so forth. And I thought your refutation with the Robert Walpole study, puts to rest the idea that we're going to lose money if it's rounded up. So I thought that was good. So you held my interest. You tied back to the penny in the fountain. You did a really excellent job on this speech. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. You just left.
Let's see, what goodies have we here? Pickles. We love pickles. Boy, they really sealed this iced tea. That's good. Didn't leak.
No, that's it.
How long has Cantor's been around for?
What?
How long has Cantor's been around for? Forever, right?
Yeah, 100 years. On Fairfax.
Oh.
Famous place. Okay, hang on just a second. You get you, yeah, stay right there in the front of that little brown cube. Very nice, yes. Okay, we're about to hear from Brenda a 7-minute extemporaneous speech on the question, can Vietnam and the United States agree on human rights issues? And no, we're not rolling. The camera's crooked. Okay, set it. And now we are rolling.
Hi everyone, I'm Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
So my family immigrated from Vietnam when I was 3. And when I was younger, my mom would always tell me stories about my dad's family. Namely the fact that I only know one aunt, but he had 4 siblings. 2 of them passed away before the age of 5 because of pneumonia and the inability to pay for medicine. The last one, an older brother, disappeared after 1980 because he was especially vocal about the North after the Vietnam War. And this is an example of the human rights situation in Vietnam today. Today I want to answer the question, can Vietnam and the United States agree on human rights issues? Unfortunately, I think that answer is no. I'll give you 3 reasons why I believe that's so. The first being, it's been over 40 years since the end of the Vietnam War in April 1975, and still not much progress has been made. The second is that every time the U.S. gives a concession to Vietnam, the human rights issues actually get worse. And lastly, instead of, in order to kind of appease the U.S., they lowered arrests, but instead increased the amount of assaults and torture that they impose on political dissidents. And this is important because human rights issues are just that. They're human rights issues. Especially for a country who has played such a large part in the Vietnam War 40 years ago, we should hold some responsibility for how the citizens there are treated now. The first point I want to make is that it's been over 40 years since the Vietnam War has been over, and still not much progress has been made in terms of human rights. According to the Human Rights Watch, in their World Report 2016, the economic progress of Vietnam has been increasing, as well as a few other social factors. But the same can't be said about their human rights. A lot of the human rights activists, human rights lawyers are still being arrested, an example of which being Lee Kong-bin, who was arrested in 2009 on national security charges, though everyone knows that he was very vocal about the Vietnamese Communist government. People are especially more, the government is especially more harsh on also religious groups such as the United Buddhist Church of Vietnam, in which one of the monks, Thich Thanh Nguyen, was arrested 16 years ago and was released just this past February. And among his release from prison, he had stated that he hasn't really seen much human rights reform in Vietnam. He said, and I quote, "I've traded my small prison for a larger one." So, as evidenced by these 2 examples, the human rights situation in Vietnam really hasn't improved much, as as we've noticed, because even in the recent decades, there's still been arrests for people who are political descendants or part of religious groups. So the second point I want to make about why I don't think the United States and Vietnam can agree on human rights issues is because every time the U.S. makes a concession to Vietnam, especially in economics, we see that human rights issues regress. So, example of this is from Nina Shea, who's an international human rights lawyer, and she stated in June 20th, 2005, that even though we've made a lot of progress in economic reform with Vietnam, made a lot of progress there, we can't say the same about the human rights issues. On that note, 10 years later, in June 23rd, 2015, the Honorable Christopher H. Smith presented to the House of Representatives. And there he was saying that if history were to be any indicator, any concession we made to Vietnam towards a more preferential trade status can actually mean worsening human rights issues. And you can see this happening, especially when in 2007, the United States vouched for the lifting of the ban on Vietnam into membership of the World Trade Organization. So amongst entering the World Trade Organization, Hanoi responded by launching the first of 3 large waves of arrests on political descendants, anyone who was vocal about the government or who was threatening the Communist Party. And this is another reason why I don't think that the United States and Vietnam can agree on human rights issues. And the last point I want to make is that in order to appease the U.S., instead of having more arrests, they've actually resulted to more physical assaults and punishments of their citizens. According to the Human Rights Watch, Executive Director Kenneth Roth, he stated that in the recent years, due to increased terrorism, a lot of the authoritarian governments have been a lot more wary of political, peaceful dissent that can be amplified by social media, and in turn have responded to that by, being more aggressive in terms of limiting the amount of dissent that they're accepting. So in Vietnam, for example, they've actually widened their penal code so that people who are politically vocal can actually be punished for a wider range of things. And this is just an example of another reason why Vietnam and the United States really can't agree on human rights issues. Because, at the end of the day, the United States is trying to impose this onto Vietnam, but they don't feel that this is, right for their government. So, I've given you 3 reasons why I don't think Vietnam and the United States can agree on human rights issues. The first being there hasn't been much progress made in the past 40 years after the Vietnam War. The second being every time we concede to Vietnam, the human rights issues get worse. And lastly, they're just working around the system by, instead of arresting people, they're physically assaulting people instead. So there should be no doubt in this room that Vietnam and the United States can't agree on human rights issues. So in terms of, having more situations like myself, who is now without an uncle because I don't know where he went, the U.S. should take a step forward in mitigating these human rights discrepancies between the U.S. and Vietnam, especially because we played such a huge role in it 40 years ago.
Thank you. 7:10. Yes, please. Thank you for waiting respectfully at the door.
Hello, my name is Elsie.
Hi, Elsie.
I thought you did a good job, Brendan, and I thought that you picked a good question considering that it was connected to your family. So for me, the strongest point was the introduction and the connection to the fact that you don't have an uncle. And I think that using that emotional appeal made kind of, come out of the gate really strong, and that was probably my favorite part.
Mm-hmm. Made the speech very sticky, didn't it? It was unexpected. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Paula.
Hi, Lala.
I think you did a really good job. I like how you included a lot of facts, and I think your topic is something many people don't really know about or talk about today anymore. But one improvement I would have is when you were, I guess, concerned about pronouncing something wrong, you kind of gave it away that you were worried that you were going to say it wrong. So, like the Vietnamese names, I wouldn't have known if you pronounced it wrong or no, but like your facial expressions kind of gave it away. But that's just a minor thing. Overall, I think you did a great job.
Thank you, Lala. Brenda, this was your best speech. Very sticky. Started with the story of your family and how they disappeared, as many families did under communism. Interestingly enough, I might add, this speech could have just as easily been about Cuba as it is about Vietnam, and all the loosening of the reins we've done down there have only resulted in more repression, more people in jail. And Obama administration appears to be looking the other way. It's rather sad. So you started with a very emotional connection, and it wasn't too emotional, so I thought you walked the razor's edge really well on that. Your thesis preview was good. It was good and detailed, so we knew, what you were going to tell us, and it wasn't just 3 things, but we gave us the, details of it, and I like that. The significance statement was excellent. Your first reason from World Report, Human Rights Watch in 2016, good piece of evidence. The more things change, the more they remain the same, and I like the way you sort of gave large statistics and then individualized examples of the 2 people. That is the best way to report the statistics. On your second reason, every time we make concessions, they get worse because we lose leverage and they view us as a paper tiger. We lose, leverage over them, and it's really unfortunate. And I don't know if I can't say why it's happening, if it's done just for the economic gains that come with opening up trade to Vietnam, but that's certainly been a factor. On the replacing prison with physical assault, that was a good point. Your summary, your conclusion, and tie back were all good. You said you wanted to be more credible by quoting more sources, communicate emotion, and be sticky. How did it go?
I think I did it, especially on the emotional and sticky part, better than I thought I would. Mainly because I grew up here, so I really don't know too much about Vietnam, the situation there. So a lot of the the facts that I got, or the experiences, was from stories. So I think that translated better than I thought. And hopefully I was able to cite more sources than I did for my first 6 steps speech. So,
good.
Yeah.
Did you specifically have anything that was unexpected that was brought in to this speech?
Actually,
particularly going to grab us.
I think that the opening story, I wasn't really intending on making it as emotional as it was, because it's hard to be emotional about a person you've never met before. Yeah. But I guess it was more impactful now that I look at it from a step back, because I feel in Vietnam and for Vietnamese families, this isn't anything new. Everyone has someone who's missing in their family or who's been arrested. So I don't think that it was as impactful learning about it when I was younger, but then I guess in this perspective it's a lot more impactful.
Yeah, the only slight thing I maybe would recommend to you is just a little more edge to your voice. If you could put on a little edge of being kind of pissed off by the American government's action and appeasing the Vietnamese over and over again, and just looking the other way at human rights violations and stuff just to get economic benefits. Just saying, it doesn't seem right, I mean to go crazy, but I think just a little bit more outrage on your part would have been more effective. But really excellent job.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that it?
No, I got mine.
Oh, good. It gives me time to break open my coleslaw.
Hey, it wasn't potato salad.
Oh, potato salad.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of pickles.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's good. Life is beautiful. Good coleslaw. So your shirt says obey, obey. Is that a brand?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. Let's see how the battery's doing. Okay, we got to get a little taller, so let's. Okay. Okay. Go a little that way, and then in the power stance, yeah. Okay, Mohammed stands before you managing attention. He's got his computer open, close it, thank you. Communicating respect non-verbally. Should we wait for you or not?
No.
Okay. Communicating respect non-verbally. Finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech and give us a 7-minute speech on a very controversial question. Would electing Donald Trump president help or hurt the U.S. economy?
Hello, my name is Mohammed.
Hi, Mohammed.
Well, if you visited Donald Trump's campaign website, it vows to make America great again. But if you look around it, it doesn't really say how exactly. Lately, his campaign speeches have been focused on immigration reform, saying, take the bad ones and get them the hell out, and bashing Washington lobbyists, saying, I'm not using lobbyists, I'm not using donors, I don't really care, I'm really rich. But the economy is still a top election issue so far. 44% of Americans say it's their number one concern. And at last month's Republican debate, Donald Trump was faced with a good question, saying how would he balance the tax policy, how would he balance the books by the tax cuts he has planned. And like a typical Donald Trump answer, he closed his eyes, smiled, and he said, we will do my tax plan, and it will be great. We will have a dynamic economy again. Like a typical answer, he completely avoided the question. And so today, I want to answer that question for him. would electing Donald Trump as president help or hurt the U.S. economy? I definitely believe that Donald Trump will hurt the U.S. economy for 3 reasons. The first is because of his tax policy. The second is because of immigration. And third is because trade and China. More so, and you might ask yourself, why should I care about this topic? Is because a possibility of Donald Trump being a 2017 president is becoming a reality. And it might be true, having this racist man as our president. And if you look at his past, you notice that he's been a Democrat, an independent. He even toyed being part of the Reform Party. Do you want a man like this to be the power of this country and hurt our U.S. economy where now it's been better than the years in the past? So the first reason why I believe Donald Trump will hurt the U.S. economy is because of his tax policy. The reason is Trump has promised to cut big tax cuts. Most individuals will see the rates fall. The standard deduction would be quadrupled, and the top individual rates would fall from 40% to 25%. I feel this way because of a study done by the Tax Policy Center in 2016 saying the poorest 20% of Americans would save $128 a year and giving them a 1% boost. And that the top 1% of taxpayers, meanwhile, will save about $275,000 from Uncle Sam every year, giving them a 17.5% boost. The Tax Foundation has dismissed this notion of him actually helping the economy, saying that it would take, and after 10 years, there would still be a $10 trillion hole in the U.S. economy. The more taxes that we reduce, the less bang we get for our dollar. And as his economic plan holds right now, there is no possibility of rebringing the economy back to where it's supposed to be. Now, the second reason why I believe Donald Trump will hurt the economy is because of his economic plan with illegal immigration. The reason is Donald Trump has blamed the immigrants for the loss of jobs, the loss of ability of finding a job, saying that the influx of foreign workers holds down salaries, keeps unemployment high, and makes it difficult for poor and working class Americans to earn middle class jobs. In a 2007 study by the University of California Berkeley economist David Card, he states, a small discernible negative effect on the relative wages of low-skilled native workers. The impacts of immigration on native workers in the United States has been very small. This is also in the Economist, the magazine. Basically what he's saying is...
What date?
2015. Basically, he is saying that... people who are immigrants really... they don't really affect the job market. Now, the third reason why I believe Donald Trump will hurt the U.S. economy is because of his economic plan with trade in China. The reason is that Trump claims that he will it will produce better jobs for Americans, and that it will produce better jobs for Americans. But however, this will cause a trade war between other countries. And it will cause, it'll be hard for us to have exports coming in. I feel this way because he proposed demanding a tariff on foreign goods and negotiating better deals. He says that a 35% tax rates will be applied on Ford vehicles made in Mexico and a 20% tax tariff on those goods coming from China. And in summary, Donald Trump's tax plan with illegal immigration, his tax policy, and trade in China are three reasons why Donald Trump will hurt the U.S. economy. There should be no doubt in this room that Donald Trump is promising more than he can fulfill and will hurt the U.S. economy. As the president primary has progressed, the reason of the reality of having Donald Trump as President Trump is becoming true, and we need to stop that before he ruins the U.S. economy.
Thank you. Okay, very nice.
For the, when you stopped me saying the date, I said it in the beginning I said
The Economist.
No, I said the Tax Foundation in 2015.
Okay, great. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Hi, Jason.
I really liked how you transitioned from your attention getter straight into your thesis. It was really, really smooth. You really teed up nicely. I really thought that was set a good tone for this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Hi, I'm Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
So you picked a really good topic because, in a sense, like just saying the word Donald Trump for some reason just grabs everyone's attention. He's an insane piece of work. So I think the only improvement, you had your phone out, but I understand because you had to do a speech before this. And in some ways, it kind of made it funnier when you read his quotes off your phone because it just made us realize how insanely stupid it sounds. But I think that if there's any improvement, it would just the us and then just for a few of the things that aren't as wordy, I guess some of the quotes that aren't as wordy or some of the facts, you can maybe just paraphrase it instead of just quoting it. And I think that's the only real improvement I have.
Thank you.
Great comment. Any other comments for Mohammed? Okay, Mohammed. Well, you got to do a topic that was very timely. Stay in the power position, hands out of your pocket. I thought you captured the essence of Trump in your opening statement. Trump vows to make America great again, but he doesn't say how. And there's an old expression, the devil's in the details, and we're just not getting any details from him. And when we're asked for details, it's going to be great. And he goes back to his mantra, And on one level, as far as storytelling and for the uneducated, the simple message is good, and they don't worry about it, but other more sophisticated voters and viewers may worry about that. So, and I think that you're right, it's the economy, stupid, and 44% was a good quote to open it up with and to show. And I would have been a little bit more sarcastic when he says, we'll do my tax plan and it'll be great, right, Donald? I'd be a little bit more sarcastic because it's just more of him blustering, really. On your thesis, it was good. You had 3 solid points that you gave for why he's going to ruin the American economy if he indeed does what his rhetoric says he's going to do. That's sort of open to question too. Your significant statement was good. I don't think you needed to sell much of a speech about Trump. He's on everybody's mind. This guy is really going to be a Hillary Trump choice. Boy, that's frightening. Yeah, it's a tough choice. So on your first thing, and I'm just taking you at your word that you fairly presented his tax policy. I have a memory that he has modified it a little bit, but I think this is basically what he first came out with. So that's fine. And most critics pointed out that it really wasn't a very severe tax on the rich, and your quotes capture that point nicely. On the second reason, the illegal immigrants, your quote from the Berkeley professor that, and you need to do more with your voice, because you said the impact of immigration on native workers in the United States has been very small. No, come on, guy. The impact of immigration on native workers in the United States has been very small. Okay? The study concludes it hasn't had a big impact. A study, not Donald Trump giving anecdotal information that, these illegal aliens are stealing all the jobs. But a study found that they were not. Trade war with China could have been fleshed out a little bit better. You were running a little bit out of time, but it makes some sense if he's going to do what he says he's going to do. We will have a trade war. So I think your summary, your conclusion, and tieback were good. I really would recommend you watch the video as many times as you can and try to get out all of the excessive, the fillers that you put in that are distracting, and just try to have pure speech.
How do you recommend to improve that?
If you have a study buddy that can listen to you every time you do an or an or a like, they raise your hand, so you become aware of it. I would suggest an exercise called Tai Chi, so you get a little more self-aware of yourself as you're speaking. Because I don't think you're so aware of what you're saying as you're saying it, are you?
No, I'm aware, but sometimes I just get lost in what I'm going to say next. So
okay.
I'll pause on it.
Nice job, Mohammed. Okay, any others? Is that it? Is that it? Give yourself a round of applause. Yay, good job. Time to eat the coleslaw and the hot pastrami that's now cold.
What are you going to do for your birthday?
Great exam. Why, you have something good I should do?
You should just give us all A's so you can go celebrate.
Give you all A's. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
I like that.
Oh, did you sign the roll sheet today?
I did not.
Yeah.
We'll give you policy proofs now. You're already collecting.
Are you a member of our Facebook group?
I am not.
You should join. We put a nice picture of you up.
I was, from the debate?
Did you debate?
No, I judged. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you're taking a vacation in Cuba?
Me, no. I am staying here.
The healthcare there is great, right?
What?
Healthcare in Cuba, it's great.
No,
Nothing else wrong with it.
I have relatives in Canada.
Everything's great in Cuba according to Obama.
There's my policy brief and
Has everyone turned in all their work?
I believe so.
Did you go to the extra credit? Did you do the Syrian debate?
Oh, yeah.
no, I just
Is he just
just the judge sells it.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of them overlap.
You did stamp 3 already, right?
Yeah, I turned it in. Last week.
So what are you handing me? Self-evaluation?
Self-evaluation for the impromptu speech and the policy.
And what? Policy there?
I would ask him in my car.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Do we have
So did
any?
it work out?
What's that?
So did it work out?
I have a favorite.
Oh, I'm
okay.
This?
I did what I could in the time I had. I'm in a life-death struggle, battling my last final.
I really like it.
A life-death struggle, yeah. He's in a life-death struggle.
Can you check if you have my extemp speech number 2 eval?
I don't know. You actually want me to look through all these right now?
Well, do you remember if you have it? Because I turned it in before I did my impromptu last week.
Why don't you fill out another one real quick and I'll, was it typed?
No.
188.
Why don't you just fill out another one real quick and then I'll mark it that I got it.
Ethical policy?
You have a blank?
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, I don't.
Starts with an H?
You're on a roll. Lala.
Well, I got it done last week, so.
Just get a blank piece of paper. I'll put it in this folder.
I could use.
Oh,
Okay.
the ethics and math.
Do you have something I could look at for the like the
Like
questions it asks me?
What do you want? I don't have a copy of it. No, I can get it. You can write on that.
27 that class.
Okay, why don't I just email it to you then? Because I don't remember the questions that were asked.
Okay, fine.
And I never got your email
What email?
about the.
About the stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you'll get it this afternoon. How about that? Can you write me a big note? That's a lot of
Are you Greek?
Yes. My whole dad said.
Every quarter I look to see these teachers. How do they teach
The one last.
Really?
Professor, by any chance?
They're lined up.
Are the midterms graded?
Yes. This is a great class.
Really?
Oh,
Where's
I
the
love that.
teacher? Why?
No.
And I don't.
You mean the stickies?
New?
Yeah.
That's
New,
what
new,
it is.
new.
Yeah, it's good.
Why did I think it was an H? I mean,
They're
that's
worried,
a
huh?
location H. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that
Yeah,
makes
new.
sense. Okay,
That's
then
the
let's
one.
see.
Curiosity kills the cat, they say.
Does that count?
The
I
impromptu.
don't think so.
People who went.
It's,
Same thing.
What?
Is the impromptu graded for the people who went?
What?
The impromptu for the people who went a few weeks
What
ago.
about it?
Or a week ago. Is that?
It's not recorded.
You know, let's be over.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
Professor,
Yeah.
I got to go to sociology department. It was a
Hey,
pleasure
thanks
this
again
quarter.
for judging this week.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. The class.
I hope you got a lot out of it.
I did.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Yeah, join our Facebook group so you can see your picture.
Yeah. Okay, I will. Yeah. This is me proofreading a paper. So.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being in the class, Professor.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Professor, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, obey. We're all taking hands. Yeah, obey.
I took your Column 1 class too, like 2
Oh, well.
years ago.
Oh, what a wise decision.
Full circle.
The full circle, yeah. You know, I get the respect exercise you do in Column 1. There are a lot of people that write me out years later saying they still use that.
Yeah,
It's good.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
It's very powerful and very helpful in tense situations. Sorry, do I get a handshake?
Yes. Thank you.
So when you join the debating team,
Honestly, I just don't think I have time.
make time.
But I love what I'm doing right now.
I know you've plateaued. You're not growing anymore. You're not doing anything.
Are you kidding? I have so far to go in mock trial. I'm just like a man with this.
No. You plateaued.
You should have come. You should have come.
You need a new intellectual challenge.
It's still an intellectual challenge, believe me. And the
Debate,
thing with it is it changes all the time.
debate is better.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Mock trial's pretty awesome. Like, do I get to use an accent when I debate? Because that's really fun.
Yeah, but see, that's acting.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. And we had one person doing both for a while, and he came back a better speaker,
Oh,
which I like.
yeah. What was his name?
Arun.
Arun. Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I know Arun. He's great.
Yeah,
It's a fun name.
very smart.
Very smart. Well spoken. Yeah.
What?
I said well spoken.
He's well spoken, yeah.
I mean, I'm already committed to mock. We're flying to North Carolina for nationals, so I gotta do that.
When is that?
That is the weekend after third week, I want to say. Next
Yeah,
week.
we're going to Atlanta for national
Nice, nice.
second week.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh, should we go study?
So you guys gonna do well? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great birthday. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you very much, Professor Miller.
You're welcome.
Professor, I have one question. I don't mean to bother you.
You're bothering me. Yeah, go ahead.
I plan on going to law school. And I
Yeah.
was wondering, do you give out A+ by any chance?
Do I what?
Do you give out A+? Do you give A+ to students?
A pluses.
Yeah.
Yeah, when people earn them.
Okay. Well, if you find that, okay, I guess.
I think Greg has it in the copy. I think he's.
I was just wondering if you feel that I'm deemed worthy or if I earned it. I'd
So
really
you're
appreciate it.
looking for an A plus in this class.
It'd
Is
be
that what you're
nice.
saying?
It'd be nice if I deserved it. And that's ultimately all up to you. But I was just wondering if you do give out A+.
Yeah.
Some students,
Yeah, I do.
just don't give out at all.